Hello, and welcome back to the Atmospheric Cafeteria. When I put up today's card of the day, which is there are not two opinions, and Yeshua is here, hello, it means the following. It means if you always sit there and say, oh, well, that's your opinion, that means that you are refusing to take the truth and you are refusing to take facts. You know, as a psychic and a medium, somebody who talks to dead people, who is a conduit for all of this, you can tap in to pretty much any energy that you want to. Do I? No. Ooh, I feel Jesus here now. But some just come to you, like Jesus and Mary Magdalene and the Blessed Mother. Ooh, fairy. And I'm being directed to say, not to confuse what I was saying last night for Christianity, because it's not. Even Jesus wasn't Christian. Jesus was Palestinian. Jesus was Jewish. And he was a Palestinian. He was a brown man, much darker than myself as a Mexican. Okay? And Jesus wants me to remind you that Jesus was a rich man who knew how to use his money. He didn't choose to use his money for self-gain and self-profit, of which I'm being told he could have very much so, because Joseph was a rich man and Mary was a poor woman. And he also wants me to remind you that Mary was 12 years old. Mary was in the process of being stoned to death. These are the visions that I have been shown. Jesus is the son of the king, not the king of heaven, but the king who was king at that time. And then Joseph came along. And basically what it came down to is not again. Not again. We're not doing this again. And he knew she was pregnant, and that's the reason why the king was having her stoned. And he chose to interfere. He had already had grown children. He had already lost a wife. And he couldn't let this happen again. And that was how the union of Joseph, an adult, and Mary, a 12-year-old, started. And I'm even told that no one did anything until she was of age, because Joseph understood to touch a 12-year-old was a sin. It was wrong, because an adult male shouldn't have an interest in a child, because that is wrong. W-R-O-N-G, wrong. But he did, and he raised Jesus as his own. As his own child. And he taught Jesus how to be good, how to be human, how to give to others even though you have this much money, which is the reason why Jesus was allowed to tip tables. You couldn't get into where Jesus could tip a table in temple without having the money behind it. You couldn't get as far as Jesus did to the age of 33, doing the things he was doing. I've got it ringing in my ears now. Without having the money behind that. Even after Joseph had passed away, Jesus had Joseph's money. When the people came to the cross to see Jesus, those were the people that he had helped. Ooh, I've got shivers now. And those were the people that he had healed. Jesus wasn't giving money out left and right. Jesus was just doing good. Jesus was doing the things that he was taught that he should do. And those people were able to turn their lives around because of the help that Jesus had given them. And in thanks and in support, they came out to see Jesus drag his cross. And they came to see Jesus hang on the cross. And the person who stabbed Jesus on the cross looked up at him and understood who Jesus was. Not the Son of God, not the son of a king, because Jesus was starting to look a lot like the king, which is one of the reasons they had to do away with him. but he saw him as the good human that he is, the helpful human. So when that person stabbed Jesus, that person made sure that he didn't get any arteries, that he didn't get any crucial organs. And you have to understand too that Jesus knew he was going to be betrayed. I was in the kitchen making yogurt and I said, "So were you psychic?" And Jesus said, "Well, I wasn't necessarily psychic, not like you." Excuse me, pardon me. But he said I wasn't stupid either. He knew, and he let it happen. Because you can only resist so long. I mean, how long was he going to run? Because at some point, it was going to be everybody else getting killed. And they're referring back to when Mary was pregnant, and the king knew that that was the heir to the throne, which is why he killed all the babies. That was the exact reason why there was bloodshed. And Mary and Joseph were always a bit ahead of it. And why? Because guards of the king who were loyal to Joseph came down to tell Joseph and Mary, "You guys got to leave now. He's about ready to do a bloodbath and kill every child here." And did he kill every child? No, he only got so far before it was like, "Okay, we're not doing this anymore." But he got far enough. They weren't in a stable because there was no room at the inn. They were in a stable because it was the better place to hide. The animals gathered around because they knew Joseph and Mary were good people and they would raise a good child. Who knew that there weren't two opinions. There was only the truth and the facts and a lie. So you can sit there and say that Jesus died for your sins. Jesus didn't die for your sins. Jesus died because it was an inevitable consequence, because he was the heir to the throne. He was looking like the actual king, and people were noticing this. Jesus didn't start a religious movement. He started a political movement. And that's what Jesus needs you to know today. And I believe that's it. That's all I've got. That's all I've been told. So, yeah, be good, behave, be happy, and always be yourself. And good night, God bless you, and I love you.